I was like, look, your guy calls me a half an hour after supposedly he's starting on my job site, tells me that he's holding my job ransom, paraphrasing, and he's parked at a park down the street and won't come back on the job site. It's only downhill from here.
Right. Yeah.
How we doing there, buddy?
Killing it.
Well, welcome to this week. How you been? What's going on? What's new and exciting?
Good. I'm good.
Yeah?
We missed last week because
We did. You went on vacation.
Was having fun in Colorado for a few extra days. Took a long 4th of July weekend and went and did some hiking and just got the hell out of Dodge for a little while. So yeah, that's always nice. And then back to the grind,
Well,
yeah.
Where'd you stay? What'd you do?
Beaver Creek. It was in Beaver Creek,
okay.
Which is about 20 minutes from Vail, so hour and a half outside of Denver. Yeah, it was nice. Much better weather than here. It was like 90s and humid for like 5 days here. So there was 70s and good hiking weather. Saw a black bear up in a tree.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, like up in a tree. Yeah.
Well,
like
good. At least it wasn't running towards you.
Yeah, right. Dude on a bicycle stopped us. He's like, there's a bear over there. I'm like, sweet. I'm like,
nice.
I'll be chivalrous and go first. I'm like, I'll go first. So I got a stick and a rock, and I'm like, all right, let's go, bear. But yeah, it was fun. It was fun.
Cool.
Caught some fireworks, barbecued. It was a good time. How about you?
I had in-laws over, like,
oh, nice.
their whole side of the family. It was 9 of us all together. They were over for the weekend.
Oh, cool.
Long 4th of July weekend. That was good.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Nephew's getting ready to graduate and looking to go into college. And while he was out here, we went and toured the Washington University, and that was a really cool campus.
Was it?
Yeah, it was really cool. Yeah, okay. It's like, I don't know, the ambiance. It's just really nice walking around there. Man, the library is cool. It's like Harry Potter library kind of feel. It's kind of neat. Yeah.
Yeah. Whimsical library.
Yeah. Just the architecture is that Gothic old mid-century kind of architecture, which is really cool looking.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's just cool walking around there. So
yeah, nice.
Yeah, we did that and caught some fireworks off the balcony, at night, and yeah, had a nice big barbecue in the backyard, and we had a massive bags tournament between all 9 of us, and yeah, that was fun.
Still got your lit up bags boards?
Yeah. That's what we were using. Yeah,
nice.
That's what we were using. My fancy bags.
Yeah.
Yeah, I made, for those out there that don't know, I made these fancy bags out of cherry and walnut. I think it was a really nice bags, and then I drilled these little holes all the way around the perimeter and around the hole and put LED lights in there and everything. It was kind of cool.
Yeah, cherry and walnut. It's almost too nice to throw bags on.
Yeah, right. I used those lights once, man. What a waste. By the time it's dark out, it's like the last thing you want to do is, maybe when we were younger we would have, but nowadays it's no thanks.
Yeah, I like the idea nonetheless.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah,
and they look really nice. But yeah, no, they're holding up really well too. You would think like the varnish and stuff would, or the finish would, like with all the bags like landing on them and sliding across them, you'd think you'd all be torn up, but no, they're in great shape. And
nice.
So yeah, they're holding up. Yeah.
Good.
Can't make them and sell them because they're way too expensive. Nobody would buy them for, whatever I had to charge to make them. But if you're making them for yourself, who cares? Like, do what you want, right?
Absolutely. Agreed. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
So, all right. Here we go again, another week at the Renovation Situation podcast, where we kind of pull back the layers of this complex remodeling industry. So grab your beverage of choice. I'm Joe. He's Todd. Let's get in it. What are we talking about? What do you want to talk about?
We're just bitching, I think.
We're going to have a bitch fest today.
Yeah. Trade partners, subs.
Let's do this. We're just going to talk about trade partners in general. Yeah.
Disappointing. Are they not delivering what they promised?
I think that through the complaining, hopefully you will be able to get some tidbits if you are a trade partner, subcontractor. Maybe you'll get an understanding or maybe a little bit more knowledge about general contractors in general and, just kind of hearing our complaints. Or maybe you won't and you'll just think that we're, babies and we're just complaining. I don't know. But it's been a little bit, so I've cooled down and we've been able to. So it won't be as bad as I initially thought that this topic was going to go.
All right.
But we'll see how we get into it.
Tell me a story. Tell you a story. Yes.
So once upon a time. All right. So we're in the middle of the remodel and we just came up to drywall. So now we're entering the drywall phase and it's 2 weeks out before the drywallers are supposed to show up, right? So I usually, when it's a month out, I give them an email. Hey, heads up, we're still on track. You need to start in a month. And then 2 weeks out, I'll send a text message. Hey, looking forward to seeing you in 2 weeks. And then a week out, you'll get another text message or a phone call. And then the day before, you'll get another text message saying, hey, see you in the morning. Right?
Sure. Absolutely.
Just to keep them in the loop, making sure everybody knows, right? And so 2 weeks out, I get a hold of the owner of the drywall company and he's like, I don't remember that project. I actually personally never walked it. Any chance that we can get out there and take a look at it? Absolutely. And I think that's a great response because, when we quoted the project, the drywaller doesn't really know how many holes are going to be put in the wall. It's hard because when we walked the project initially, that's at trade day when the last time he showed up, right? The last time the drywaller saw the product, it was way before the project was even sold. So they don't know. They can see the plans. I explain to them everything that needs to happen. I tell them that, plumbers and electricians, they're going to have holes in the wall. So just plan on having a bunch of holes in the wall and quote me worst case scenario. Same thing you do, right? Like, don't give me best case scenario pricing. That doesn't help me one bit. We want worst case scenario pricing, right? Because we can always work from there, but it's easier to take away, much harder to add on.
Agreed.
So he responds with, hey, can we take a look at the project? Absolutely. Wide open. Whenever you want to stop by, now's a great time because all the holes and everything, all the damage has been done. We're not doing any more damage. So 2 weeks out, he stops by, shows up late. I'm like texting him, hey, are you coming? He finally texts me back. Yeah, I got pulled over. It's like, great, this is going wonderful already. And he shows up. He's all dirty and wearing holy clothes and not all that professional, but whatever, drywaller. And we walk the site. And here, mind you, I've used these guys before, and it's been great. They lost one of the main guys that was kind of help running the whole thing, and it's been downhill ever since. And this job has been probably the last job I'll use them on. But because of all of this. It's unfortunate, but back to the story. So he shows up finally. We walked the site. I walked every room, walked through the whole thing with him, showed him all of the holes, explained everything. We spent 45 minutes walking through it all, got outside. We chit-chatted around his truck for a little bit, just catching up because we haven't seen each other in a while. Everything's great. And I said, okay, you got any concerns, thoughts, feelings, questions, anything? Everything looks great. He's like, yeah, everything looks great. And then he's asking me, are we going to drywall in the showers? Said, no, don't worry about that. My tile guy's got that. He's like, great. He's like, 1/2-inch drywall everywhere. Yes, you will have to put some backing in some places to fill in where it's, lath and plaster. That's usually like 1 inch thick. He's like, yeah, absolutely. No worries. Got it. Cool. Great. All right. So he leaves. 2 weeks later, full steam ahead. 2 weeks later, he sends his worker over. His worker gets there. Now, okay, hold on a second. I'm going to throw every little pet peeve in here. Then
do it.
The night before, I text, hey, looking forward to seeing you. 8 a.m.-ish, question mark. He responds with, no, we got to stop and pick up drywall and all the things. It's going to be more like later. And I said, okay, what's later mean? 9:30? He's like, yeah, that sounds good. Okay. So I take my time in the morning. I'm driving my way over there. It's 8:30 and the homeowner calls me and says, drywallers are here. I'm like, great, awesome. They're early. I'm not going to complain about that. Please ask them to just wait until I get there and I'll help them out. So the homeowner does that. Great. I get there and he goes, I get there, never met this worker before. Owner's not there. First time I meet this guy, he's all by himself. And we have, 10 sheets of drywall. We need to get up 2 flights of stairs and it's kind of tough. And I'm thinking in my head, thank God I asked you to wait because there's no way you're going to get all these sheets of drywall up there on your own. I don't know why you're here by yourself, but that's all right. I'm here to help. So he's obviously ticked off that I asked him to wait. Now, mind you, I was only 10 minutes away. So we're talking, just wait 10 minutes so I can get there, and thank God I did because you don't know the project. You know nothing about this project. So just let me walk you through it. Well, the reason why I'm bringing this up because he was so frustrated and angry that I asked him to wait for 10 minutes until I got there. And he right away, no, hey, nice to meet you, looking forward to working with you, whatever. No, it was, I just walked through this place and this is a lot more work than I thought it was going to be. That's how he introduces himself to me. Mm-hmm. And I'm thinking, okay, first off, I don't know who you are. I've always dealt with the owner. I'm not going to talk dollar amounts with you or have any decision making conversations with you. Who are you? Are you even allowed to talk about these things on your company's behalf? I don't know who you are. Mm-hmm. And you're coming to me with this tone this isn't good. Not a good way to start your first impression, right?
Sure.
So I'm I'm really trying to okay, no worries. I walked the project with the owner 2 weeks ago and then this guy's he told me he's never been here. And so now I'm on my defense now with the tone. And so I'm okay, that's not true. And he's well, that's what he told me. And I said, okay, well, here's my text messages. We met 2 weeks ago. I showed him the text messages. And then I related the story. I basically told all of you to him, proving that the guy was here. I don't know why I'm doing this, but I'm still trying to work the relationship out here. I'm trying to, I'm trying not to just punch him in the face, right?
Right. Ease the tension a little bit, and you're like, yeah, listen, dude, we're all on the same team here. All right, let's
That's
moving
right.
forward.
You know, right. Let's work together here. So he goes, well, if David said it was fine, if he says it was fine, then it's fine. And I'm like, okay. He goes, well, I gotta get these. I was like, how can I help? Did you walk the job site? I said, how about if he goes, yeah, I walked through it already. And I was like, well, who did you walk through with? He's like, the owner. And I was the homeowner. And I was like, well, why don't we walk through it together? Because the homeowner doesn't really know all the nuances. And would that be okay? He goes, yeah, fine. So we did. We walked through it all. And after we got back, I said, okay, how do you want to proceed? He's like, well, I want to get all the drywall upstairs. Okay. He's like, that's what I was doing when you told him that I had to stop and wait for you. And I was like, well, I thought it would be easier for the two of us than if you were on your own. He goes, well, I pull drywall up the stairs all the time on my own. I'll be fine. I'm like, I know, but this is a really intricate house and we have a lot going on. There's a lot of woodwork and detail. We don't want to scratch up the walls and stuff, even though I have all this plastic and stuff up. Mm-hmm. He goes, fine. So I convince him that we're going to do it together. What does he do? He grabs the sheet and just starts running with it. He's not halfway on it, right? As if he's not holding all of it on its own, but he's holding most of it on its own. And I'm tailing around in the back, just holding it. And I'm like, hey, let's just slow down and think about how we're going to go up the stairs. And nope, he didn't stop. He just went up the stairs. And sure as shit, the corner of the drywall just scraped along up the stairs and up the wall and just scraped the shit out of the wall. And after we were done with that, I was like, okay, this relationship's going to change real quick. I said, yeah. Okay, but I said, you see what you just did with the wall? He's like, yeah, well, we're in construction. I have to get this stuff up the stairs. I was like, okay, that's not how we're going to act on this job site anymore. Let's be decent human beings here. That's not how I run my job sites. Let's be calm. Let's be cool. We're all on the same team. And let's rethink how we're going to get this sheet of drywall upstairs without scratching the shit out of the walls. Mm-hmm. Fine. So we did, and we found a new way that was really easy for the two. But again, it has to be two. After we're all done, we got to drywall upstairs. After we're all done, we get back outside, and he looks at me and goes, well, now I see why you asked me to wait 10 minutes for you. It was much easier with the two of us. So that was his apology. And I was like, all right, cool. Now I got him on my side. Cool. He did. Yeah. So I was happy about that. And it started to get much easier. So the whole rest of the day, it went much better. Mm-hmm. So he just starts going to work. Oh, and I stopped in about an hour. I just stuck around in case he had any questions, see if he needed any help. He's doing great. So I left for the day. The next day, no show. No drywallers. So I'm sitting there waiting in the morning. Shows, no one shows. I finally text a couple hours. I don't know, 10 o'clock. I gave him a couple hours. I texted him. I texted the owner. And I said, hey, are you guys coming today? What's going on? And he goes, oh, well, we're on another job site right now. We'll be there soon. Okay. How soon is soon, right? I'm literally sitting here in my truck waiting for you guys. And the homeowners, wondering why no work's happening. So waiting. It is now 2 p.m. I'm still sitting there waiting. And I'm texting, trying to get his information, a response, and I'm not getting anywhere or anything back from him. And I finally get a text back at 2 o'clock. He goes, "Man, I'm really sorry, but we're stuck on this job, and we were trying to pass a drywall inspection." And I said, "Okay, well, where are you on that?" He goes, "Well, I think," and this is all through text, "I think we'll be done in an hour." So it's 2 o'clock. I was like, "All right. Let's just no work for today. We'll see you tomorrow. Can I see you guys tomorrow?" He goes, "Yeah, absolutely." Now this is the owner, not the guy that I was dealing with prior, right? Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So the owner goes, "Yeah, we'll be there tomorrow." Okay, great. Tomorrow comes along, right? So now we had that instance the first day. Second day, they don't show up. Third day now, I'm on my way there. I get a text message from the worker now at 8:30, and I'm almost there. And he texts me and says, I'm not coming back to the job site unless, what was it? I should look up the text message. He goes, I'm not coming back to the job site until you figure out all this extra work, or something like that. Right. And I said, well, it's past 8:00. Where are you? He's like, I'm parked in a like a park in the town, like in the downtown area, close by. I said, you're what? You're parked? He's like, yeah, I'm not at the job site. I said, well, why are you parked at the park? He said, because I'm not going back to the job site until we settle this. Like, this is the first. What?
Yeah, settle. What?
Again, who are you? So I was like,
so this
seriously?
Has to be a sub of a sub. It's got to be a sub of a sub.
He's in a lettered truck from the guy. And, I know he's not at this point, because this has been weeks later now. But at the time, I'm just like, you got to be kidding me, right? And he goes, no, I'm parked at the park. So if you want us to work, then I could be there in 5 minutes, but we need to work things out. I was like, okay, what park are you at? Because I'm almost there too. And I'm thinking in my head, well, I'm kind of glad you're not at the job site now. If you're gonna have this kind of an attitude, I don't want to do it on the job site in front of the homeowners. So okay, so I meet him at the park. I mean, this is shady shit, man. So now I'm like, I have drywall stacked, and he started backing and everything. And now they're saying that they're not going to finish the job. Not him, not the owner, by the way. So, okay, I'm 10 minutes away. I'm on my way to the park, and I'm calling the owner who I know and have the relationship with, and I'm not getting anything. So I get there, I talk to this guy, and, we are cordial, like we're lightheaded talking, but he's standing firm that he's not going back to work. And I finally put my foot down and said, okay, I'm not talking to you. Like, I am not responding to any of your requests or talking to you about numbers, money, or anything else, because the contract I have is with your owner. That's the relationship I have. That's who walked the job. That's who quoted the job. That's who I'm dealing with. I don't know you. I haven't, and the owner's not calling me back. So I don't know what to tell you. He goes, well, let me get on so he calls the owner, and the owner picks up. So what? And so I told him, I said, tell him that I'm not talking to you. So he needs to call me, and we need to straighten this out. Whatever this is. Because as far as I'm concerned, you're the only one that has a problem. The other owner, the owner who walked the job site 2 weeks before, seemed to be like we were fine.
Yeah.
The owner, half an hour later, finally calls me, and we're sitting in the park still. And he finally calls, put it on speaker, and we all work this shit out. And comes down to they just wanted more money. And the owner was too much of a.
They went on strike.
That's how they went about it. And the owner was too much of a pussyfoot to just call me and talk to me about it.
Yeah. Instead, you go on strike day 2. Like,
why did we not have this conversation 2 weeks ago when you walked the project?
Right.
He goes, you know what he says? Oh, well, I didn't read the contract before I got there.
Oh, because his kid wrote the contract? His wife wrote the contract?
I don't know. I was like, well, why
you don't read your own fucking contracts? Like, what?
I said, why didn't you at least familiarize yourself with what you were walking into, considering you said that you haven't walked the job site? So, like, that's great. That's why you're here. Why don't you read the contract so you know what's involved? And also, moreover, why didn't you then go home, read the contract, realize that maybe you didn't charge enough, and then contact me then? Why are we waiting after you started and now hold me ransom? Like, my job's ransom now. You won't start.
Yeah.
what kind of shady ass shit is this? I was like, this is ridiculous. And I told him all this. This is ridiculous.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. That is about as unprofessional as it gets right there.
How about it? How about it?
Yeah.
And like the whole time after all of this, like, so just, you know, I know you're on suspense on what was the deal. They wanted some big number and we compromised, and I did give them an extra money.
Okay.
So whatever.
I was actually just wondering if the place currently is drywalled or not. That's where I was. Yeah.
It is finished.
Drywall's
done. Drywall's done. They're paid, and yeah, and I got a lien waiver from them, and I am never gonna see those a-holes again.
Wow. Yeah, I don't blame you.
And here's the thing: so the worker hears that we came to a conclusion because I had it on speakerphone, so all three of us can get on the same page. He's like, "Oh, I can go back to work," and he jumps in his truck and goes. And I was just like, the quality of people I'm dealing with right at the moment does not make me feel so. So the whole rest of they were there for like another week and a half, and the owner never showed up, not once. And this one guy was the only one that ever was here. So he did the whole thing himself. One guy doing all the drywall. And I mean, 10 sheets of drywall, but it was a lot of work. Yeah. Okay. Tape, mud, hung, whole thing.
Yeah. Okay.
They did a great job. And texture. Don't forget, we love our texture out here. So everything gets a hopper. It just sucks. So the whole time, he's like these little comments throughout the week and a half that I stop in and help him out or whatever to make the job go a little bit easier. He's like saying, like, just kind of downgrading the owner, the relationship that I have with the owner, right? He's just like, keeps saying how he's not good at this or not good at that or doing this or doing that bad. And it's just like, dude, you're the bad apple too. Like, I understand that, you know, the owner didn't say anything 2 weeks prior when he walked through, but you're also holding job sites ransom as well. And not to mention the attitude that you have is not customer friendly.
Threw a little bit of a tantrum.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And I was like, I cannot believe. So, okay, that's the situation.
Okay.
That's the renovation situation 3 weeks ago.
All right.
Now, here's what I think most trade partners don't understand.
Okay.
Or maybe they don't care. I bet you they never even fucking thought about it. But the first thing I did was called another general contractor who I know uses them and told him my experiences. Hey, by the way, have you had this experience? What's going on with X, Y, and Z company? Just wondering, no, because this is what's going on my job site. You know what he says? He's like, no, haven't had that problem, but the last project we used them on, it was a little bit more sketchy than usual. Thanks for letting me know because I won't use them next time. So trade partners out there, you subcontractors out there, people talk. Us general contractors, we're not necessarily all thinking that we're just competition with each other. We actually call each other, talk, and you know what? You screw one over, you don't know how many other people I'm going to talk to mention, just so they don't end up having the same conversation or the same situation.
Yeah, spread like wildfire.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
So you screw me over, right? Fine. But you might be screwing yourself over for future jobs that you don't even know. There's a lost opportunity that you won't never even know.
Yeah.
And then you'll wonder why your phone isn't calling anymore. You're not working for ABC company anymore. Well, you know, because
Plumb Perfect Builders
it gets around.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And guess what I'm going to do when I go to my next association meeting? And I'm sitting around at a networking event and this guy comes over to me and he's like, "Hey, you know, how's it going?" I'll go, "Well, let me tell you a story. about a drywaller you do not want to use.
Right. Do you have any drywallers you
Right?
recommend? I have a drywaller I won't recommend.
And then I'll tell you the story.
If you want to go through process of elimination, we could start there. Don't use these guys. They'll end up at the park. Probably had a fucking grill there too, I'm assuming. Is he making fajitas in the...
No, although that would be much cooler. No, he's just sitting there waiting. And I was like, and when I was on the phone with the owner, I was like, hey, do you realize where we are right now? He's like, no. I was like, look, your guy calls me a half an hour after supposedly he's starting on my job site, tells me that he's holding my job ransom, paraphrasing, and he's parked at a park down the street and won't come back on the job site. So just so you know, you're paying your guy to sit here in a park because what? Because we couldn't have this conversation 2 weeks ago?
Right.
Matter of fact, here's the kicker. I'm a pretty reasonable guy. If we walked out of that house and he said, man, this is a little bit more than I thought it was going to be, hey, let me go back, run some numbers, and would it be okay if I talk to you tomorrow about it? I would have said, absolutely, totally understand. I get it. Let's figure it out.
Yeah.
And then he would call me and then he would do that. And he would go, hey, I ran the numbers. I really like to hold my number that I gave you, but here's what was included. Here's what I think isn't included. And I think I need to ask for a little bit more because of X, Y, and Z. I probably would have said, okay, because I already, because I have
things happen.
I know shit like this happens, right?
Sure. It's remodeling. But you don't know, like you said earlier, you don't know how many holes the electrician or the plumber is going to put in the wall or the ceiling.
And I know that there was things that we added,
another room or something. You don't know. Yeah.
I know that there was holes that we made that weren't originally thought of when we walked. But I know there's other places where we didn't take out drywall that I thought we were going to. So I didn't know how that was going to all play out. That's why we did the walkthrough 2 weeks ago, before the project, before his time started.
Mm-hmm.
Why is communication so difficult? I mean, come on.
Yeah, that seems like that's a pretty easy phone call. Yeah, this is what we looked at before. This is where we're at. Like, hey, like you said, this is being very reasonable here. I didn't include this. This was quite a bit more patchwork or whatever it was. It's going to be a little more for materials, a little more for labor. Like, are you cool with this? That's it. Short and sweet.
Yeah, that's it.
And depending how your contract reads with the client, maybe you have that opportunity to go back to the client and say, hey, we had to do this. Here's a change order for that. Or maybe you had some additional costs built into your original numbers, but whatever it is, that's an easy conversation. It's an easy conversation to have. A conversation at the park when you're on strike, day 2, is not an easy conversation. There's no good resolution to that. Because I don't know how I would have handled that. I would have been like, what are you doing? Are you serious right now? What in the hell are you doing?
I was, and I didn't have another drywaller to fall back on this.
Right.
They've been solid up until this point. Yeah. So I never needed to. But now, if I had another drywaller backed up, if I had a relationship with one, even if it was more and even if it took more time, I don't care.
Yeah.
Trust me when I say this, I would have kicked them off the job site immediately.
Sure. Just out of
principle. Absolutely. Out of principle. I would have ate whatever extra cost to bring my other drywaller in, but they were so lucky that I didn't have a backup. So I really wanted to make it work with them. And I had a relationship that I thought I did not have as good of a relationship with that owner that I thought I did. That's what it came down to.
Yeah.
And here's the thing, what we say all the time is with trade partners, they are great until they're not. And it is so true that we can't rely on just one trade partner because they're good until they're not.
Yeah.
And it's inevitable.
That's true. You cannot. You cannot
It
rely on
really,
one.
yeah, it really sucked too because I really liked them, but now that they lost a guy, and evidently that guy held the whole freaking place together, and it is falling apart. What do you have any similar situation?
Yeah, yeah. And actually, you were. I'll go way back on this one because I still love
Okay,
this story.
I was
And
on it.
yeah, you were with me on this project, and we were
You're not
working.
gonna
We were
throw
working
me
down
under the
on.
bus and say that I did something, are you?
No, we were
Okay.
working down. We were doing two projects for an architect. One was on Lakeshore Drive. One was on Michigan Avenue. And we were doing a project on Michigan Avenue, and I had an electrician come in who I'd never worked with before, but he was a president of a local remodeling association. I'm not going to say which one. Electrician for years, had just everyone spoke very highly of him. He really knew his stuff. He blah blah blah.
That's true.
Okay, so I had a set of plans from the architect, full scope of work as to what we were doing. We got into the project, and similar to your story, he had a guy there, and I'll let go the whole microwaving your leftover dinner in the morning at 10 a.m. in someone's kitchen the first day, which
Totally did. Totally
just
did.
awful. Just awful. First, as soon as he walks in, can I use your microwave? I'm like, what? Did you just say that to a freaking homeowner? Like the first thing you say,
Yeah.
can I use your microwave? I haven't eaten. I'm starving. It's 10 o'clock in the morning. You serious? Anyways, he was not the owner. He was just working. But the owner came in, I think maybe a day or two later, and just said, oh, sometimes these high rises are just a real pain to work in. I was like, yeah, I know. And I get it. So they are for everybody. Elevator time, parking, limited hours. Never know how the building's built. And it can be difficult. That's all he said. That was it. We finished the project. And I'm not even talking just electrical done. Everything was done. Everything. And everything was done for weeks. And then I had already paid him in full. And then I get another invoice, a separate invoice, weeks after the project is done for additional money saying, oh, we had to add like some supports, and we had to add, there was more pipe than we thought. And I said, okay.
Project's done.
Like, project is done. Like, do you think I have any recourse at this point to go back to my client and say, hey, remember that project we finished for you a couple months back? Is it cool if I charge you more now? Like, in what world do you think that that's okay? Like, in what business, anywhere, would you say, hey, is it cool if we just charge you a bunch more money? Because I just now looked at all my receipts and all my labor, and you know what? It didn't add up. I didn't make as much as I thought I did on that job. So I'd like for you to pay me more now. That was one of the most unprofessional things. And again, this was a dude who was the president of a local remodeling group.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, this is the bar? This is where we're setting the bar. You've got to be joking. You got to be joking. So needless to say, last time I ever used that electrician. But it's not an uncommon thing to have to ask for more money along the way. If you are in good communication with the contractor, with the client, architect, whatever it might be, things change. It's remodeling. There's unexpected things that come up all the time. But you need to have that communication as soon as possible, and as just as cohesive and fluid as possible, so everyone is on the same page moving forward. And that way, if you need to point those things out, in that instance, that downtown project, there was, everything's concrete floors, concrete built. So they had to, I forgot what we were doing, but they said they call them strut mounts. They had to actually anchor these to the concrete to get braces and anchor some stuff for whatever, for conduit supports and whatever. Fine. If you didn't include that, I understand. This is all opened up. I can point to this when this is opened up. I can walk the architect through. I can walk the client through and say, hey, we didn't know this was like this until we opened this up. We have to add this and this, have to at least charge you for labor and materials for this. Most people are going to be reasonable and understand that when you're explaining it to them and showing them literally what you need to do. right? After the fact, when it's done and painted and everything else, like, hey, I know you can't see it now, but we actually had to do a lot more work. Like, what is wrong with you? You know?
Right.
So yeah, that comes up. It comes up, and it's super unfortunate.
And to bring this like full circle, we talked about it. Like I saw that experience. You told me about that experience, right? And then
Yeah,
I went and told other people in that same association about that experience.
yeah,
So
brutal.
again, if you're going to treat your contractors badly, just remember that has consequences down the road.
Sure
And
does.
there's just no reason for it. Like Todd said, communication early. And we all know as general contractors, we know that things change. We know that change orders exist. And we know that, asking for more money might happen. But we aren't going to ruin the relationship with the homeowner because you forgot to communicate to us months earlier.
Mm-hmm.
That now turns into a life lesson that you have to learn that is now, unfortunately, your fault when it
Yeah,
didn't have to be.
didn't have to be. Didn't have to be anyone's.
Didn't have to
Didn't
be.
have to be anyone's fault. But
Yeah.
by not mentioning that earlier and then coming to me for more money down the road, and if I was to play that part and then go back to the homeowner and ask for more money, now you're making that my fault, and now you're making me look unprofessional. And now that client, similar to you telling that story at that association, that client is now telling their neighbors, their friends, their work associates, and it's like, oh my god, you're not going to believe what this contractor did, right? And then you're perpetuating that bad image. Yeah, no, thank you. Not
Right.
trying to be that.
Yep.
Not trying.
No way. Well, I think those were good examples. We can go on and on and on. If you're listening, appreciate, subscribe, like, and
Yes. All those
cheers.
things.
Next
Cheers.
time.
Cheers.